Hey, what's up, fellas? Team 3D on deck. All right, this is the first episode of Ask Team 3D. I mentioned in my other video that I was looking for a name, and I was like, fuck it, let me just find something boring, basic, and simple. So, like I said, I mean, in case you haven't seen another video, check it out. I'm just gonna answer 5 questions per segment, all right, per video, whatever. So the first 5 questions, I'm just gonna answer them randomly, not in any particular order. So if your question hasn't been answered yet, it's coming up. All right, so. I like your theory of lifting for a time limit. How many reps do you put into a set? This was asked by Syracuse Aesthetics. How many reps do I put into a set? I try to stay in the 6 to 8 rep range in my working sets, like the serious sets. Like I said, I don't really count sets anymore. I just have like have a time limit. If I'm training, let's say tricep, I would say, all right, I'm gonna do this for 7 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on like the day, my energy levels, whatever. I get into the gym and I know the exercise that I'm gonna do. That's already on paper. I already know what I'm gonna do. Now it's just the time limit, based on like I said, based on how much what time the gym is closing, how much time I have left, things like that. I look at all these different factors, and then you gotta be flexible, guys. You can't be stiff. You can't be a robot. You gotta be flexible. You gotta know when to like adjust and evolve and accommodate situations. So I give myself a time limit. And as far as reps, I always try to go to failure. So I pick a weight that I can do 6 to 8 reps on and reach failure. To me, I feel like if you're a beginner, you should do the 10 to 12 rep range to kind of like build the muscle. That's just the first stage. But once you have some kind of muscle on you, not just a huge. I'm not talking about the huge muscle. I mean like muscle, obvious muscle. When you know that the muscle is there, you just want to make it bigger. I believe 6 to 8 rep range. You should reach failure of anywhere between 6 to 8 to make the muscle bigger. That's different than a beginner who has no muscle to begin with and just wants to like actually have like a tricep or have like a set of shoulders. Then you want to be in the 10 to 12 rep range for hypertrophy, whatever shit is called. So 10 to 12 rep range for beginners. If you've been lifting for a while and your body has adapted to working out, your body's used to lifting weights, you'll notice if you don't increase the weight, you don't try to get stronger, your body will actually shrink. Believe it or not, you get big as a beginner, and then after a while, you just start slimming down because your body's like, okay, I'm giving you all this muscle to accommodate the stress, but then now that you have that muscle, the stress is not as much as it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, so your body's like, fuck it, you don't need all that muscle anymore, and it starts going down. So you want to keep your body growing and growing and growing. So once you have the muscle already, you just want it to be bigger, increase the weight, and keep the rep range between 6 to 8. I believe if you've been lifting for a year or 2 years and you still doing 10 to 12 reps, that weight is too light for you. Because if you don't reach failure till the 12th rep, that means the first 5 reps were a piece of cake. So nah, I mean, like I said, it's just advice for me. 6 to 8. That's how I train my chest, and that's how I'm gonna start training my lagging body parts. In fact, if you see my transformation videos, a lot of y'all are telling me that my lagging body parts are traps, back, and things like that. I notice it too. And guess what? By coincidence, those are the body parts that I train within the 10 to 12 rep range, and they're not growing anymore because it's not enough. But my chest, I've always trained my chest in the 6 to 8 rep range, and it's responding in a great way. So I mean, like just put A and A and B together. If it's working for one body group, it should work for the rest. The body groups that are training at 10 to 12 rep range are not growing, which is back, shoulders, traps. They're not growing at all. So now for this whole month of April, I'm gonna train these body parts in the 6 to 8 rep range, like I've always done my chest, and I'm gonna see the results there. And besides, I was online looking at like rep ranges and stuff like that. Everybody has their own different ideas, and I looked at the greatest of the greatest. One of my favorite greatest is Kevin Levrone. I love Kevin Levrone, and he used to advise 10 to 12 rep range, but now that he retired, he advises 6 to 8 rep range. And if Kevin Levrone is telling you 6 to 8 rep range, 6 to 8 rep range. He knows what he's talking about. This guy has the best shoulders in bodybuilding and the best traps, which is the body parts that I need. But anyway, wow, 4 minutes on one question. Damn, I'm gonna start using my timer again. Second question: can you do a video on how to level the muscles of the body? Because my left arm is way weaker than my right arm. Yeah, we get that a lot. I have the same problem too. My left tricep is stronger than my right tricep because of an elbow injury that I had back when I used to try to lift a lot of weights. And without proper form and nutrition, that is. There's nothing wrong with lifting heavy as long as you're eating right, you're giving yourself enough sleep. But anyway, so, and my right bicep is stronger than my left bicep. How do you fix that? Use hammer strength machines, hammer strength, and use a lot of use dumbbell work. Dumbbell work's a great way to level out the muscles, but like I say, hammer strength, like the hammer strength bench, What else is called? I don't know what the other thing's called. You can use cables, things like that. I mean, like, guys, that's a really easy question to answer. And if you want to level it out, just train them. Now, I won't say one at a time, but just try to like use hammer strength and cables and machines or whatever it is you want to call it. All right. Somebody said, okay, that last question was by Mac Love. I'm not gonna try to read you guys' names because some of y'all be ODing, like for real. Like it's all love, but I can't even read some of y'all names to give you shout outs. But anyway, this guy is saying, I think he's actually joking. He says the hash twins got me scared to do deadlifts. What should I do? Guys, that that topic again about deadlifts and the house twins, they're giving you guys advice based on their experience, right? You could take it or you don't have to take it. It's just advice. They're not trying to scare you from deadlifts. They're just saying that it's a dangerous exercise, and it is. Even though it has a lot of, it's beneficial. It's also dangerous. A lot of people hurt themselves doing deadlifts. If you're a beginner, I would say do hyperextensions, develop your lower back, or if you want to do deadlifts, fine, but just start off light and go heavy. The problem with deadlifts is our ego gets in the way, even though we're beginners and we try going for like the heavy deadlifts with bad form. You gonna hurt yourself. I don't give a fuck how good the deadlifts is. If you do bad form and you're a beginner, which means you have bad form pretty much because you're not used to that shit, you're gonna hurt yourself. So do hyperextensions or do deadlifts with lightweight. That's all it is, you know. They're not saying stop doing deadlifts, you know, like they said, at the end of the day, it's just advice. And that's one, two, three, four questions. How do you calculate your macros? Do you use a formula or something? I think I made a video to explain you guys that, but I might make another one in case I haven't. It's simple. I start off with just a basic number because you will never get the perfect number by looking online. They'll all give you something different. I start off with like right now I weigh 159 pounds, between 159 and 163 max. So I start with like 160, right, which is my weight. I try to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight just to start off, just to see. Okay, that's the beginning number. Carbs, I start with like let's say 200. Fat, I start with like 50. You know, and I multiply the protein and the carbs by 4 to get you how many calories you need, blah blah, blah. And then multiply your if you're using 160 grams of protein, multiply that by 4 to get the calories you need from proteins. Same thing for carbs, and for fat you multiply by 9, and you add it all up, and it gives you an estimate of how many calories you need per day. Oh, there's different ways of doing it. But anyway, like this video, this topic, this question right there, I'm gonna make a video to answer that because this is 7 minutes already, and I gotta get out of here. So I'll make a video to answer you. Sorry, your name is Manish330. But watch my other video on how I calculate my macros before I make this one. The last question is great news, but don't get fired. That's what he's referring to me making videos at work. But don't worry about it. I won't get fired, guys. I do it with my supervisor's absent. And yeah, I found out there's no cameras in that room anyway. By the way, since you broke as fuck, but you managed to get a new laptop, that means you must have some knowledge on saving and spending money. It's the reason why I call this low budget lean muscle. Like I'm on a budget, and if you're on a budget, you'd be surprised how much money you could save in 8 months. I've been literally saving for 8 months to get this freaking laptop. So that's not I'm not rich at all. If I was, I wouldn't be working 2 jobs and going to school full time. So I'll make a video to show you guys how to budget. It's actually quite easy and it's actually fun. I'll show you how I budget my gas mileage, my insurance, my rent, utilities, internet, just name it, food. I'll show you guys all that. Alright, this video is 8 minutes long. It's too fucking long. Uh I'll answer the rest of the questions later on. Team 3D, dominance, discipline, direction.